Well, I have several possible questions, but I'll restrain myself, Suhan. I'm interested in the quality that you describe in Dawson City, of that sense of something lost, of something past, that is somehow still preserved, right, by film, on film, right, and that ghostly quality or character that comes with that. That seems to me essentially tied to photography, right? That, and I'm wondering if that's something that's potentially lost with the introduction of digital. And I have something in mind that Stanley Cavell talks about pastness as some kind of essential quality of film.
Yep.
You know, the sense that something that is past, that's preserved on film. Do you think that's something that is transformed?
I think it's a very interesting question because, I mean, the idea of the pastness of film is just that in a very literal, real sense, a movie is a record of something that happened some time ago. You know, just like by the time it arrives in a theater, it's been a year or 6 months or whatever, and it becomes. I mean, movies become a kind of sometimes unintentional archive of experience. So especially when they began to be shot more on location. And I was just, for a project I was working on, I was watching a bunch of older movies, and there's a not great but quite interesting adaptation of Faulkner's Intruder in the Dust. It was made in 1949, and it was shot on location in Oxford, Mississippi. And so, you know, the movie, it's a Hollywood movie. It's telling a story. It has its characters. It has its themes. But then there's also the place. Like, you're looking at the place in that kind of uncanny, vivid way that places become real. And there's an amazing documentary called Los Angeles Plays Itself by Tom Anderson that's composed of all of these different depictions of LA in the movies, and ways that the movies, you know, couldn't help but capture the reality of the city, even when they were doing something else. But the thing about digital images and digital information that is alarming and troubling, perhaps, is the disposability, is the way that they're ephemeral, you know. So and this isn't just about images. I mean, you think about, you know, all of these wonderful volumes of letters by great writers, by great people. I mean, one of the books that I keep on my shelf and go back to a lot of times just for fun is the letters of Elia Kazan, you know. And he wrote, as people did, he wrote, you know, 5 or 6 letters a day to friends, agents, actors, mistresses, whoever. And you know, it's hard to imagine a volume of you know, texts or emails being quite so satisfying, or even existing, you know, especially after the Sony hack. I don't think anybody, you know, everyone is deleting everything. But I think the same, you know, the same is true of all of the tens or hundreds of millions of images that are being harvested and circulated digitally, many of which are quite beautiful and potentially valuable, but what will be left of them is I think a haunting question.